All right. We're having trouble with your feed, it says. Well, I wanted to talk about miles and pay and home time and all that good stuff here at Deckers. So if you're joining me for the live, welcome. Looks like we've got a few hiccups here with the connection, so bear with me as everything's getting worked out. But again, welcome. My name is Jessie, here with Decker Truckline. Is it coming through? Looks like, there we go. All right. Well, we'll go with it. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat so that I can do my best to answer them. And if it's lagging too much, then I'll just, go through some of the common questions that I get answered or get asked and answer them so that you're aware of what's going on and what's new here at Decker. So that being said, it is that time of month that we announce our Driver of the Months. So we'll talk about that for sure. Driver of the Month, we have two different divisions. We have our refrigerated and we have our flatbed division. So we will announce those and, of course, recognize them. And I do want to give a few shout outs as well to each of the finalists as well, because we have finalists for both the refrigerated and flatbed divisions, and those finalists they also get awards. So they'll get a gift card, not only to like a Walmart gift card, but they'll also get a gift card to the Decker store, a gift from the Decker store. Whereas the finalists, which are the winners of the different divisions, the refrigerated and flatbed, they will actually get a $100 gift card to to Walmart, and then also a $50 gift card to the Decker store. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, it looks like I'm having a few issues. We've tried to restart it a couple of times, so I apologize. This is the best that I'm getting today. All right. Well, we do have a few available positions as well, both in refrigerated and flatbed divisions. So we'll talk about the qualifications, we'll talk about the running lanes, we'll also go over the hiring process, orientation, and of course, getting down the road. So I think so too, Ravi. I definitely agree. They're doing some construction out back there, and that should be bringing us some fiber in my location. So yeah, that would be wonderful. We are waiting patiently. Yes. Do you have any OTR? Andrew says. Andrew Hurricane? That sounds like a scary location. What do we have for a zip code here? It is 39564. Let's see what we've got out of your area. Out of Mississippi, yes. We have refrigerated and flatbed out of your area, actually. So, Andrew, yes, refrigerated and flatbed. With the refrigerated division, we can get you home every 10 days or every 11 days, every 11 days for 3 days. That's one option. The other is an over-the-road option, which would put out 2 to 3 weeks at a time and then home for 3 to 4 days. Depending on which one works best for you, you have either one in your neck of the woods for refrigerated. So if you want to speak to a recruiter, I should mention this, if you want to speak to a recruiter, the number is coming across the screen. Like I said, the connection is probably poor. So if you're getting the audio fine but not getting the visual, I'm going to give you the telephone number. It's 877-433-2537 or 877-233-2537. Either one works. But yes. Hey, Sean, how are you? Yeah, getting fiber in our area. I say that to Sean because he's up in my area usually. So yeah. Andrew, as far as flatbed, we can get you home every other weekend. You're home, usually coming home on a Friday night or a Saturday morning. Now, we don't guarantee it on the weekend in this division. However, the majority of the runs do get you home on a Friday or Saturday and then back out, like I said, Sunday or Monday. That's pretty darn common for the flatbed division. But it's over the road. In the over-the-road flatbed division, you're not running out west, really. Most everything is going to be Denver and east. A lot of the Midwest, very heavy in the Midwest. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, even down into Missouri, Texas, and Oklahoma. And then, of course, towards the Carolinas, Mississippi, the Southeast is real heavy. Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, what am I saying? Georgia, real busy. We've opened up our lanes into Florida as well. But so you've got refrigerated and flatbed options, both OTR. If you have more questions, definitely hit us up. It's 877-433-2537. That'll get you going. When it comes to minimum experience for both divisions, we are looking for a minimum of 6 months of experience. In the flatbed, it does need to be flatbed specific. And in the refrigerated, it can be either or. If you don't have 6 months of flatbed, but you're wanting to get into flatbed, but you have a year of tractor trailer experience, we can do that too. We would just train you in our flatbed and securement training, but you have to have a year of tractor trailer before we can do that. Cool. Refrigerated, like I said, 6 months experience, and then we can move forward and get you going. So additional qualifying factors, again, 6 months of experience, no major moving violations, no DOT recordable accidents, nothing like that within the last 3 years. Now, if you have a ticket in the last month or last year or so, but it's not considered a major moving violation, so maybe it's a 10 over, a 5 over speeding ticket, maybe it's a backing incident, something like that, we can work with those within the last 12 months. We can work with them within the last 3 years, as long as you don't have more than 1 in the last 12 months and more than 2 in the last 3 years. I didn't think about that for a second. Then again, if you have more than that, then it would be outside of it. We'll have to wait till you have those outside of your 3-year period before we can move forward. If you have 2 within the last 12 months, once one of them pushes out to the last or outside of the 12-month period, if they're not considered major moving violations or a DOT recordable accident, then as long as it's pushed outside of that 12-month period, you can have 2 within that 3-year. So good to know, I'm sure. Now, again, with qualifying, once you've met all of our qualifications or you've visited with the recruiter and you've determined that you meet the qualifications, then our next step is getting you scheduled for orientation and moving forward with the hiring process. Now, the hiring process starts before you even get to orientation, because we have both the hair follicle, the urinalysis for the drug test. We do both drug tests. We also do your physical. Now, if you have a physical that's good for another 6 months, then we probably can use that one if it's, within if you've gotten it, 6 months ago or something like that. So as long as it's good for another 6+ months, then we can usually move forward. You'll just need to get the long form over to your recruiter so that we can look through it. We can make sure that everything is, in order and get it approved. So, yeah. Sean says, I'm melting, grabbing a load south of Houston. For a Montana boy, getting some heat for sure. It's supposed to be 83 today, I believe, Sean. So, it's kind of warm for here. All right, now back to the hiring process. Now we do your physical and we do your drug tests ahead of time, right? And we try to make it as convenient as possible. So if you're out on the road, say you're south of Houston and we need to make arrangements for you, we'll make those arrangements with one of our, with a partnering facility. And we'll give you the address. We just find the most convenient location for you. We'll give you the address, we'll get you scheduled, and then you just show up, you get it taken care of, and they'll send the paperwork in. So that's the plus, right? As far as the next step, then you have the online orientation. And I think you've probably seen this if you've been at if you have experience, right? So you've probably been somewhere that has provided you an orientation, maybe in person or online. Now with our online orientation, which is the first step, then you'll have a number of modules. And that module could be a video, it could be an article, it could be or like a PDF, it could be an interactive image where you're clicking on it and then it'll have a little pop-up that says, for example, when we're talking the maintenance side, you're doing a pre-trip, you might have a pop-up that says your fuel filter, and then it'll describe what you're looking for and in when you're doing your pre-trip, something like that. Those are different types of modules we have. And then after each module, then you'll have usually anywhere between 3 and 5 questions. Sometimes if it's a smaller, shorter module, it'll be like 1 or 2, but usually it's about 3 to 5 questions following each module. And then you'll move on to the next one. Once you've completed that, then we can get you scheduled for orientation. And you might even have it finished you might have it scheduled for orientation, but not finished yet because of your time frame of when you're looking to get started. That's totally fine. You just want to make sure that it's completed before you arrive in Fort Dodge for orientation. Which, by the way, when it comes to transportation to orientation, we will either get you a rental car. We take care of the gas. I was going to say fuel. We take care of the gas as well as the rental car. We also take care of flights if you prefer to fly, especially if you're coming from Washington State into Iowa. That's pretty common to fly. We can do that. Now, that being said, we do have a repayment agreement. So if you were to start with us and leave us within the first 6-month period, now this is only if it's within the first 6-month period. If you left us within that time frame, you would be responsible for a portion of the expenses to get you started. And that's going to include your physical and your drug tests, as well as your transportation to orientation and your hotel and your meals. We set you up in a hotel. It's a personalized hotel, like personalized. I mean, it's a single room, so you're not getting grouped up with anybody. And then we take care of your meals and stuff while you're here. Now, every month that you're here, like within those first 6 months, every month you're here, we drop the expense $100. So if whatever that accumulated to be, let's say $1,100, and every month we drop $100 off of it, right? So month 1, at the end of month 1, it'll be $1,000. It'll be $900 after month 2, etc. That said, if you were to leave us within the first 6 months, you'd only be responsible for whatever's left of that, right? Otherwise, you are not responsible for it. Decker takes it. I just want to make sure you are aware of the different scenarios. Now, as far as orientation itself, when you arrive in Fort Dodge, we will pick you up. We'll have you come to orientation about 7 a.m. on Monday is when we get started, once rental cars and stuff are dropped off. 7 a.m. on Monday, we start going through a lot of the information in person now. You're not online necessarily, but you'll go through different departments will come in. They'll meet with you. That's usually Wednesday, to be honest with you. Most of the first part is just getting to know some of our company policies and procedures and how those steps happen. On Wednesday, you'll have quite a few people coming in, introducing themselves and kind of going through their expectations. Fuel compliance being one of them, getting to know the safety department, your driver leader, of course. Usually you meet them on Tuesday, so driver leader, you'll meet them. I know a lot of people refer to them as fleet managers or dispatchers. We say driver leader because there are additional expectations that we hold our driver leaders to than some other places. So that's why the different name. And what else? You'll meet your driver leader, you'll meet your recruiter, and they'll introduce you to your driver leader. And then you'll also meet all of the other departments and get to know them. When you're talking to the maintenance department, they will have a checklist of different items that they'll go through when they're walking through your truck with you. Usually you're getting your truck Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. It's usually a 3-day orientation, and we pay you $500 for completing that 3-day orientation. So when maintenance is walking through everything with you, they're going to go through all of the amenities, including the APU. We've got the inverter and the APU. We've got the 22-inch television with Epic View streaming, so there's a ton of channels available to you. Showtime, Cinemax, HBO, I mean, a whole bunch of them. That is company paid, so you are not responsible for the subscription for that. It's there. It's all supplied for you. It's a smart TV, so if you have a subscription that you already have or that you're already paying on, like a Hulu or a Netflix or something like that, Paramount, you can use those. You just plug it into your smart TV. Now, we also have free Wi-Fi that streams through that as well. So if you want to take advantage of that, whether you're listening to this or listening to a podcast, you can definitely access that free Wi-Fi. You might be someone who likes to play games in there. So if you're a gamer, then you can do that too. should come, all right, or should be able to handle it. Also for amenities, so we've got the TV, we've got the APU and the inverter, we've got microwaves in the truck, we've got TVs in. Well, I mentioned that we've got refrigerators in the truck. What am I missing? Of course, we have the different DriveWise and BestPass, some of those conveniences as well. We do use an ELD system, of course, and we use the TransFlow app to work hand in hand with that one. We have the lytic system in the truck. That's another thing. The lytic system is one of our safety units, so it does have both inward and outward facing event recorders, lane departure, speed gauge. Has it all. And one of our bonuses is based off of that lytic system as well. So if you need more details on that, we can talk about that as well. As far as the lytics, some of the different, I was going to bring up a sheet here for me just to make sure that I've got all the right info for you on some of the things that could be fuel compliance, idle time. No, those are more for the scorecard bonus, but as far as the lytics, that's going to be more like following too close, hard braking, erratic lane change, that kind of thing. Those are the ones that will usually affect your lytic score. What else do we have in the trucks? Man, they're pretty well maintained. They're newer model. They're double bunk. I should mention that they are double bunk. You might not have known that. The mattress size, they're extra large, twin extra large. Yeah. Lots of amenities in those trucks, and most of them are the 579 Peterbilts. But we do have some 780s, some 860s, and then with the flatbed division, we have some 740s as well. But the majority, and we also have a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. The majority of our trucks, by far, are those 579 Peterbilts. So we've got 579 Peterbilts, we have a few 589s, and then we have some 389s. So 389s usually go towards our veteran drivers who've been here for a while. The 589s, we have some for our veteran drivers as well. And the 579s are our most common. That's the majority of our trucks right now. So I think we got that covered, right? I think so. All right. We'll talk a little bit more about some of those available positions, but before we do, last week, we paid out for our scorecard and our safety bonus. And I mentioned just a moment ago that our lytic system is what our safety bonuses is based off of. And as long as you have less than 0 for the lytics, it's a perfect. 0 is the perfect score. That 0 is the one that you want. So if it's less than 1, I should say, not less than 0. If it's 0.4 or less, then you would get a bonus for that lytic system. So lytics bonus is an extra penny per mile on all the miles that you completed for that previous month. Whereas the scorecard bonus, that can be an extra 4 cents a mile. So combined, right? Combined would be an extra 5 cents a mile total. As far as those, we paid out over $65,000 last week for April's bonuses because it pays out the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. So obviously those miles were ran in April. They're paid out in May. Now, following that schedule is our driver of the month. Our driver of the months, there we go. They are nominated by their driver leaders. And then they have a write-up from their driver leaders recognizing their achievements and all their efforts, giving good reason on why, of course, we feel that they should be the driver of the month. And so that is, we'll have write-ups for all of our finalists. We have 4 finalists for the refrigerated side. Franklin Phillip, Chili Hillis, Rita Tyler, and Jason Sneed. Those are our 4 finalists. And again, we receive a nomination from their driver leader requesting that they earn Driver of the Month. And then from there, all of the... Oh, one sec. One sec here. All right. I see that I messed up and I didn't change the March on the poster. So I want to make sure I get this updated. These are the April numbers for our flatbed finalists. And again, remember, these are those who were nominated. They just weren't chosen for the Driver of the Month for April. Ronald Murrow and Carl Auff. I don't know if I pronounced Carl's last name correctly. Carl Auff, I believe, Jr. Augh. I'm sure I said it wrong, but okay. Carl and Ronald, congratulations on the Flatbed Driver of the Month finalists, and Franklin, Chili, Rita, and Jason, congratulations for the Refrigerated Driver of the Month finalists. Now, the winners for each of the division, I would like to read their write-ups. Now, the Flatbed Division Driver of the Month for April has been nominated by Anthony Pesco. Anthony says, I'm proud to nominate Tony Castrogiovanni for the Driver of the Month in recognition of his exceptional contributions and consistent performance. Tony brings energy and focus to his work every single day, tackling each assignment with reliability, with professionalism, and a strong sense of responsibility. He's known for his can-do attitude and his willingness to go that extra mile, literally and figuratively, in order to get the job done right. From the start, Tony has demonstrated a deep commitment to safety and timeliness and operational excellence. His results speak volumes. A flawless driver scorecard with 1,000 points and an impressive Lytx score of just 10. These achievements reflect not only his driving expertise, but also his discipline and attention to detail on the road. Tony sets a high standard for his peers and is a key part of our team's success. His performance and his attitude make him stand out, and I believe he's more than deserving of this recognition. So, again, the winner for April's Driver of the Month is Anthony Castrogiovanni, or Tony. So, congratulations. Very well done. And for our winner for the refrigerated, let me bring that one back up. I had that just a second ago. Maybe. There we are. There he is. Evan is our driver leader. He has nominated Terry. He says, just a brief rundown of Terry. He says he's a very dedicated, Terry Gagnon, a very dedicated and effective driver. He does whatever he can to make sure that a load arrives on time, and he is always willing to help out if needed. And his only goal is to get as many miles as possible. He uses his clock effectively and communicates any potential issues as soon as they become apparent in order to give us the most time possible to figure out a situation. I wish I had 40 drivers like him on my board. Evan says he's fantastic. So congratulations, Terry, for a job well done. Terry's been with Decker for almost 2 years, coming up on 2 years this next month. And as far as Tony, Anthony Castrogiovanni, he's been here coming up on 1 year, also here in June. So congratulations to both of you guys. Wonderful job. Very, very well done. Now, as far as some individual positions that are currently available. We do have a home weekly in the refrigerated division. We have a few different positions or a few different opportunities available in that position. So if you are looking for home weekly, and as long as you live in the right area, obviously we can accommodate. The most convenient or the area that we're hiring at for this position for the home weekly refrigerated is Cincinnati, Indiana. Just kind of picture an outline here, okay? Let's try again. Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Detroit. Let me draw my line. Back down over to Cleveland, down to Columbus and Cincinnati. Just everything in that area is going to not only get you home on a weekly basis, but getting you home for the weekend. That's a plus. Can't offer that in every location, but we can definitely offer it here. So again, if you have more questions, if you want to find out if you're in that hiring area, if you're just not sure, please get a hold of us at 877-433-2537 or 877-233-2537. Again, that's Decker Truck Line. You can get a hold of us also online at drivedecker.com. You can do a short application. We can get the ball rolling for you and see if we can get you qualified and moving forward. So that position, that one averages right around $1,000 a week for getting you home weekly. So we can get you more information on that for sure. Now, as far as our more regional, more over-the-road positions, 11 days out, 3 days home, or our 2 to 3 weeks out and home for 3 to 4 days. That is our refrigerated divisions. And that one does have or currently has a sign-on bonus of $4,000. I had to think about that because I believe in the one area we also offer a $5,000 sign-on bonus. The area that I'm referring to, I need to double check here, but the area that we have the sign-on bonus, the $5,000 sign-on bonus for refrigerated would be more like Fort Dodge, Des Moines, even over into Sioux City. But the majority of our hiring lanes for the refrigerated, over-the-road refrigerated division would be a $4,000 sign-on bonus. So let me tell you how that pays out so that you are well aware. The $4,000 sign-on bonus pays out at $1,000 on your six month mark, another $1,000 on your 9 month mark, and the remaining $2,000 on your 1 year anniversary. So 12 months, right? So you get that, and then for those of you who are in the area for the $5,000 sign-on bonus, that one pays out $1,500 at 6 months, $1,500 at 9 months, and the remaining $2,000 at your 1 year anniversary. Now, as far as flatbed, the flatbed division, that one in the Midwest, the hiring area for the $5,000 is a little bit bigger. And again, the Fort Dodge area, Des Moines for sure, that's a $5,000 sign-on bonus. It pays out $1,500 at 6 months, $1,500 at 9 months, and the remaining $2,000 on your 1 year anniversary. We also have a hiring bonus, a sign-on bonus of $8,000 for our Midwest Flatbed Home Weekly. This Home Weekly position also has a minimum pay of $14.50 per week. And again, this is flatbed. So for more answers to your questions, please give us a call, 877-433-2537. We'll give you all the details on that. Sound fair? I hope so. Great opportunity for all of those. So again, 877-433-2537. Now, as far as benefits and all those extras, if you're wondering about those, they start after 60 days. So on your 61st day of employment, you've got medical, dental, vision, prescription. We have for the prescription, it is $0 copay for generic, and we have $0 copays for both the specialty and brand name prescriptions as well. So take a look at those, get a hold of our benefits department. They will help you out for sure in getting everything lined up. Now, as far as the 401k, we have a 25% match on our 401k as well, also available to you after 60 days. So look forward to visiting with you guys. I hope we can answer more of your questions and find you a good home here at Decker. The number again is 877-433-2537. Our next orientation is next week, next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And like I said before, you'll get dispatched out on Thursday, or maybe even Wednesday night, depending on when that load is and how quickly we're able to get through the orientation process with you. So again, speak to one of our recruiters. We'll be able to give you more specifics on what to expect per mile. By the way, when it comes to the refrigerated division, we start anybody in between 55 cents a mile and 65 cents a mile, depending on your experience. Yes, we have those minimum pay safety nets, but your rate of pay per mile and is based off of your experience level, which is probably going to make you more on a weekly basis because of the miles you run than the safety net alone. Now, as far as flatbed, the pay range on our flatbed